Now, I'm guessing that we're live. I could just in fact be talking to myself in a shed, which won't be the first time. Now, my name's Tom. Hello, welcome to the bunker live, or should we say the bunker office live, and our first ever streaming session. Now, bear with me, I'm not the most tech savvy of guys, and I am hoping that this works. Long story short, if you don't know who we are, we're mates that hobby, play games, unbox things, paint, stuff like that, and we tend to be as wholesome and all about the fun of the hobby and the love of the hobby as we can be, and that's what we're all about. I started the channel as a lockdown project in, can't remember now, 3 years ago. Let's forget that time. And here we are now. We attend all the various different things around the world. So tonight we thought that we would do some painting, some live hobby. Now the idea here is that it's a time that maybe you can pull out your paints and your projects and chat to us and hobby along with us. I've got my hobby apron on, which is always good, and I'm hoping that it's a time that it becomes a bit of a chill out session for you as well, because that's what we're all about. Keep the chat going, that'd be absolutely awesome. Big shout out Jack, Ward Alley Miniatures, represent, there he is. He missed lockdown, okay. But anyway, hobby along, let me know in the chat. Joe's in the chat, Rob's going to come into the chat later on as well. So let us know what you're doing, what your current hobby goals are, what your hobby plans are. While you're there, if you can subscribe to the channel and click that like button, it makes a massive difference to us and it costs you nothing. Apparently I've also been told that you should also back us on Patreon, which would be lovely, or buy us a little pound thing which is in your chat box. Rob's the one that likes to shill everything, I just do the hobby. So without further ado, let's get on with it. So yeah, it is serious because the apron's on. Yeah, so tonight I guess we'll continue the story a little bit. We will actually paint something in a minute. So a few weeks ago, myself, Rob, Joe, we went to Pickle Fest, and Pickle Fest was put on by Josh at the Pickle Jar, and it was a fantastic event. It was really good. There was no retail there, but it was all about coming down, playing games, meeting people, meeting the community, and it was a really wholesome event, and we actually really enjoyed it. And what happened there, we bumped into a chap from Transatlantis Games. Now, for those of you who don't know who Transatlantis Games are, that's perfectly fine. They make this amazing stuff. Now, this is Duncan Rhodes, you might have heard of him, Two Thin Coats paint range. And talking to them at the time, they very kindly sent us the entirety of Wave 1, so 60 paints. And the way that Duncan Rhodes work, the paints work, if I could, the green is probably a really good example. They go in stages. So you've got like your dark tone, so your shade, your mid-tone and your highlight. And they've done that for all of the main colours. And I thought, hey, what a great project would be to paint my 100 Kingdoms army for Conquest, Last Argument of Kings. And I'll start with my boss, basically. He's the Lord, the mounted noble Lord. And I thought, why not chuck Two Thin Coats in at the deep end and crack straight on with their metallics. Now, a lot of metallic ranges shit themselves as soon as you start watering them down and doing things with them. So I'm really interested to see what happens here, and I've not tried this paint range at all. My palette is a pane of glass. So I'm a bit old school in that I've always just used a thin pane of glass or perspex or something like that, and I just clean it off with a scraper. I know you can get wet palettes, but we also try to do things as cost effective as possible here. So like when it comes to dry brushing, you'll see me use like toilet roll and stuff like that. If anybody wants to send us stuff, get in touch, that's great, but you can do the hobby without spending thousands of pounds on things, because hey, that's what you spend on the models, yeah? So Pickle Fest was excellent, mate. It really was. It was really good fun. But shout out for ChillCon next year has been announced. Exclusive, the bunker will be going to ChillCon next year. We'll be putting a game on again. Hopefully doing a bit of painting, meeting everyone. We had such a great time last time, and I'm sure we can drag along Joe and Leo. So there might be I've got to be careful how I pronounce this now. Like 4 of us there. So without further ado, let's crack on with some painting. big shout out again. So, Two Thin Coats paint range. If you use Citadel paints and other various paints, that's fine. Let me get that lined up. They do a conversion sheet. So it literally, with the metals, you've got Cerakote Silver is the same as Lead Belcher. So we're going to start with that. Let's start with that. And then we've got Plate Armour, which is the same as Ironbreaker. So let's go up with that. And then we've got Mithril Blade, which is the highlight. So that's what I'm going to do first of all on the metallics. Now there's an agitator in the bottle as well. Joe tried these at Picklefest and he was really impressed with it. Really impressed with it. Oh, amazing, Jack, that is so kind of you. I'm always happy to try a wet palette out. I've never used one. If you've got one and you want to send it to me, mate, send it in the next lot of models that I'll paint for you. Just so like, people are probably thinking, who is this Jack? So War Daddy Miniatures. I do a lot of painting for him. So if you check out War Daddy Miniatures on Instagram, there's links to his eBay and so on and so forth, and you can buy some lovely painted miniatures from a variety of artists and content creators, and Jack himself, who's a fantastic painter, so you can get some really nice centerpieces for your army. And he's such a nice bloke as well, you should really go and support him. So there you go. And he didn't pay me to say that. Okay, so Cerakote Silver. I like the idea of that. Here we go. It's going to blow up in my face. Oh, what an interesting nib. Anyway, so now interestingly, when Joe tried these, he was very impressed because, yeah, that's at a consistency where I wouldn't really water that a great deal, particularly for a metallic paint. So that's quite interesting, isn't it? So let's see on the cover. So I've primed this in black, your sort of standard, typical sort of thing. I'm going on straight out of the pot. See what the cover. Oh wow! Duncan Rhodes may be swearing at his internet now, watching me butcher his paints. Okay. For a metallic, that is excellent. That is excellent. Now it's interesting because Transatlantis, they said we'll send the range, and we said, look, we'll use them, and you know we'll proudly have you sponsor our sort of painting and hobby streams. But obviously we're honest, you know, and we'll be honest about everything that we use and that we use on the channel, you know, because we are, at the end of the day, we're guys with jobs and families, and you know we don't get a lot of stuff for free. And that's not a hint. Although Rob will be killing me because he says that we should push more. But the idea that you can get a decent paint for a decent price that covers well, I'm all over that. Okay, that's really hard to see what an area to pick to start. There we go. It's getting there. Okay. And what I'm going to do, guys, as well, I'm going to try a little bit of water in this one now. Now, I know you can use all, you know, things like thinners and stuff like that. And it's... I always use water. I don't know why. Again, I'm old school, I think. I've always used water. Now, my idea here is that I'm gonna block out a lot of silver. I'm going to highlight up the silver. And then I'm going to pick some gold out because, you know, he's a boss, isn't he? So he's going to have gold on. Hiya, Paul. How are you? I've not played it yet, mate. I've not played 10th yet. I know Joe's your man for 40k. He sort of knows more about 40k than me. I must admit, I'm really enjoying playing other games. I don't know. I've really enjoyed currently playing a lot of Star Trek Alliance, which is like a cooperative game with Rob. I really enjoy Necromunda. Absolutely love me some Necromunda. I think it's mint. Really enjoy it. Just not had the chance to sort of crack on with 10th. Really, I guess it took a bit of a break at the end of 9th, and I've not started it up again. So, and I'm actually eyeing up some other systems. So With myself and Leo are going to a Conquest tournament, and then I'll be at the LGT, but I'll be with the Parabellum lot playing Conquest because I absolutely love it. And then I'm actually looking at Dystopian Wars because I just think that entire range looks sick. So I can't really tell you, but Joe probably can. Yes, I tend to, it depends what I'm doing. So priming wise, if you're using a speed paint or a contrast paint, which obviously Too Thin Coats don't produce, there's nothing wrong with that, I would always use a white or a grey, and then sort of slap chop it, which is what I mean is to sort of like directionally zenithal highlight it with white. If I'm painting something properly, so to speak, and that's not knocking anyone that uses contrast paints or anything like that, I would always use white. Oh, Song of Ice and Fire is lovely. It's a really, really good game. And do you know what? It is, you know, it's Game of Thrones. that's the thing. I think that's why I like Conquest so much, because it's so like big sort of 40mm fantasy, and it's big ranks of blokes just smashing each other in and stuff like that. So, oh, really, really, really liking this paint. Yeah, I'm really liking this paint. Really cool. Going on well. You know, we'll end up talking so much about hobby, which is cool, that we'll probably only do like 3 colours. Do you play a lot of 10th Ed then, Paul? Have you been playing a lot of it? I know people have told me that it's similar to, well, it's taken quite a lot of lead off Age of Sigmar, which I don't think is bad, is it, at all? I think that's a really quite a good thing, because Age of Sigmar I think is a really well written game. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I agree, and do you know what? It's going on so smoothly as well. When we were talking to the guys, so Transatlantis Games make Too Thin Coats paints. Now, if you know a YouTuber called MS Paints, and Dave MS Paints, who I can vouch for being a lovely, lovely guy, he did a video where he actually went in their factory. So obviously, after you've watched this live stream, go and check that out, because it's really quite interesting. So the guys at Too Thin Coats actually built the machines out like balsa wood themselves to bottle them and put an agitator in and so on and so forth. So it was actually very, very, very interesting how they've done it, and it's a really good video. I mean, everything Dave puts out was really cool. I really like the guy, such a nice bloke, real good ambassador for the hobby, and you know what it means to actually play war games, or just enjoy your hobby as you paint and stuff like that. You know, it's now I think we'll do his horse silver, and then we might ostentatiously do his armour gold. Sounds like a sort of lord on horseback thing to do, doesn't it? And then I'll maybe let us try. And this isn't just going to be a one-off session. We've invested some of our sort of backing, some of our sort of Patreon money and YouTube takings, which isn't a lot, I must admit, guys. It's not a great deal of money. We're not, you know, we ain't going to Florida anytime soon or like that. But you never know, one day, eh? Although I think the missus might have something to say if I disappear off to Florida and she doesn't get to go. I think she'd be quite upset. But anyway, we'd have to take her. Anyway, but we invested it in this kit. So the idea is that I want to start doing sort of like once a week a live hobby, because I think it's really cool. And it's like that. What I miss is when Joe, Rob, Leo, we all get together. We have such a good laugh playing the game. And you end up talking about life, don't you? And you just end up doing all lots of different things and being involved in different things. And it's, I don't know, that's the type of thing I think people miss when you sort of sit painting by yourself. And it's difficult for me, you know, with families and stuff like that. Not many of us are going to be able to say, hey, let's all just sit around painting at our house. With the time we've got, we'd like to play a game. And I think this is something that sort of it's selfish, really. It's for me, I suppose, isn't it? But I thought it'd be really cool. I figure this might actually be a really interesting way to do unboxings as well. But we will have to see. not used to speaking this much when I'm painting. We're getting there. We're getting there. He's got a lot of armour on. Like a lot of armour on. So a bit more paint. Simple, fast and fun. Data cards make the game 100% better than 9th. Ah, well, you see, I think that is what it needed to be. So I played a lot of 9th edition 40k. I'm knocking it. I went to the LGT numerous times, and I ended up actually playing some people that are, what's the best word for it? Not famous in it, but do you know what I mean? Like the better players. And they were all lovely, very competitive. But you know, hey, you're going to a top level tournament. It's gonna be competitive, isn't it? But it's yeah, 9th just didn't do it for me at all. I don't know what it was. It was, I don't like the idea of them having to nerf books as soon as before they're released. I don't know. Will we look at it? Yeah, probably. Absolutely. We'll probably start off small and go from there and do it so that we can sort of like slow grow an army each. Joe's got massive Ultramarines army, massive Orc army. Myself and Rob are less less model prolific for 40k. But I must admit, at the minute, we're really enjoying our Necromunda. So it's, you know, we're really sort of ploughing on with a campaign, and I think getting quite a lot of enjoyment out of it. So yeah, we will see. Is anyone thinking about playing Epic? Is anyone going to pick Epic up when it comes out? When is the key, isn't it? Yeah, oh, I forgot that. Yeah, I did paint your orcs, didn't I? I did paint your orcs. Yeah, they were on the shelf a long time, weren't they? They were on the shelf a long time. The orcs, weren't they? Which is fine, you know, it's fine. But I think it got to the stage where you just wanted them painted. I think. I feel that it's easier to get it past like your wife. You know, like if I have a fully painted army, if I have a fully painted army in a cabinet like I have behind me, which funnily enough is my Horus Heresy army, it's a lot easier to get away with it. I don't know what I mean, but those of you out there probably do. Yeah, Epic, absolutely. I don't know. I really, initially I was just like, yes, sold, line me up, do you know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't understand why it's been delayed, if I'm totally honest. I don't really know why they can't just release it, but hey, there you go. They will have their business plan and all that sort of thing, which again is fine. You know, it's their business. They're a business. Some people need to remember that Games Workshop is a business. You've not finished everything from Shadow Spear. Okay. Right. Yeah, that's fair. How big is the pile of shame now, Joe? Do we know? Do we want to know? I think everybody wants to know how big the pile of shame is. God, I remember Shadow of Fear. Xenos needs. You want a Gargan? Right, for Epic. Yeah. Yeah, totally. I think if it had that Xenos aspect, it would be a lot more appealing, maybe, for people. I don't know. Maybe it would be, because you know, like how many people have probably got an old school Eldar army for Epic and think, oh yeah, I can finally get it back on the table. Oh no, I can't. So. I think they're bands. I don't really know. We'll put them on. put them on. There's so much metallic on this model. By the time we finish to come this, we can actually try the dry brush, which is I'm actually quite interested about, because this is going on really well, this paint. Very, very, very excited to see what it does. I think they can be metal straps now. There we go. There we are. It is, yeah. Do you know what? It's flowing really well. I'm really very, very, very impressed with it. I mean, the measure will be like doing a gold, I think. But like, if you look at how easy that covers, done. You know, so it's, yeah, very impressed. And also the fact that, yes, you can water them down a little bit. I suppose you don't really need to. It's always probably better to water down just a tiny amount, but yeah, that's gone down really well. Gone down really well. I think we'll do like a rim of his shield. So like the golds, so they have Spartan Bronze, Dragon's Gold and Glistening Gold. So it'll be interesting to see if you start with the bronze, for example, and go up from there. Is that what they're getting at? Now, obviously it's experiments, but we'll have a go. We'll have a go. I just want to use all this paint up really, because I've squirted way too much out of this tub. There we go. Yeah, so, yeah, absolutely. There we go. Yeah, very impressed with that. Like, I've not really had to do anything to manipulate that silver whatsoever. It's just gone out. It's covered really well, which is nice to see. I think that's like a bit of metal. I don't know. It is now. He's got his lance there, so let's do the lance hill. Is that it? The hill. We'll leave the shaft. We'll break up the monotonous metal with something else. So, is anyone sat there hobbying then? Are we painting, playing? Well, it'd be difficult to watch a live stream and play, fair enough. But yeah, what are you all up to? I mean, you can be sat there having a drink, really, it doesn't matter. So, now I think we'll go there like that. Yeah, I'm really impressed with this. Oh, busy packing the car for a camping trip. Are you going anywhere nice, Joe? Stirrups. Painting Custodes. Yeah, there you go. The gold is truly the the bit you're interested in there. But hey, you know, it's the hobby that you get, what you get out of it. I know we've got some people watching that probably just sat there, don't want to talk and engage, and that's fine. You know what I mean? If you just want to listen and paint, that's really cool. If you feel like you want to say something or join the chat, that's totally fine as well. There is no pressure. So, back of his seat, we're going to do metallic as well. I guess what we need to do now is figure out his sort of heraldry, don't we? So go. Hello, Rob. Oh, the Peak District's lovely. I don't need to tell you that, Joe. I'm sure you've been there before. We are getting there, I think. Slowly but slowly. There we go. I do think he's going to have to be one of these really ostentatious, all in gold dudes, because I think that'll just look really cool. Okay, I think we're about there. I don't really think you can. Yeah, you could give it another coat if you wanted to, just to deepen that pigment. I don't think you really need to. All right, Joe, no worries, mate. You have a good evening and enjoy packing. I don't think you'd massively need to give it a second coat. See, all I'm doing there is just going through and just sort of firming it up a bit. So what are you doing tonight then, Rob? Are you painting up your away team? Oh, you see, if you were here for the start, Rob, you'd you would know what paints I'm using. So I'm using the Two Thin Coats paint range, which was generously provided by Transatlantis Games. For those that don't know, and people that are new perhaps, I've been sent with one, and it's Duncan Rhodes paints, which are really, really cool. So you should know who Duncan Rhodes is. He's like the master painter, and there is a lovely, and I have to work out the angles. Ooh, there we go. Conversion guide. So they have a conversion guide for both Citadel and Army paints. So they're really, really, really lovely. We've just been using the metallics, and it's gone on really smoothly, really well. So wash the brush. So that was Cerecoat Silver. Back up there. See, I'm trying not to lick my brush, you see, because we're on the internet. There we go. Now then, what we're going to do is we are going to try Two Thin Coats Plate Armour, which is the next one down. And I am going to try and do a sort of rough dry brush, I guess. Now I'm going to use a bit of a more knackered brush for this. You can buy dry brushes, absolutely, you can buy all these dry brushes, and that's great. Again, I just use an old brush. So we've learned we don't need a lot. Needs a bit more agitating, I think, that. So they are literally the first time I've used them. Direct copies of what, Rob? Oh, do you mean the colours? Right, so here it says Two Thin Coats Paint Conversion Chart, and this is for wave 1. Now they have shadows, midtones, highlights, washes, metallics, glazes, and brights. And it says here, this chart was made so you were able to follow along with Dunk and Rog on videos before they came out with their own paint range. So for example, Ivory Tusk by Two Thin Coats is the same as Pallid Witch Flesh for Citadel or Brain Matter Beige for the Army painter. They don't guarantee 100% match, they're not 100% match, they're their own paints, but I'm really impressed with this. For example, Death Reaper is the same as Corvus Black. Runic Purple is the same as why do I always pick the ones with the name? Cacophony Purple for Citadel, and Toxic Boils for the Army painter. Wow. Demon Red, same as Evil Sun Scarlet, and Pure Red. So yeah, so basically they've got a really, really, really cool range of paints designed to match up with the paints you may already have. So you might want to say, actually, I'm going to transfer over to Two Thin Coats, and I'm going to use them, you know, and that's fine. So there we go. So I agitated that a bit more. Now, for dry brushing, I just use a piece of paper. Now, is. It's all coming to light now. Now the reason I do this, you can use toilet roll, and you can use toilet roll, but I get it on the brush, and then you brush most of it off, yeah, and again, back and forth, brush most of it off. Yeah, I don't need to teach people to dry brush, but if I do, and you want to ask any painting questions, just do ask. And then let's. Oh wow. Okay. Okay. So I'm going down just to catch the edge. Outright, yeah. Wow. So that's just, I guess it's more of a wet brush that I'm doing, but I'm just catching the edges. And well, you can see the shine that I've got here already is wow. Let's go across the top there. I'm letting all of the hobby secrets away here, but this is how you paint stuff quick. Wow. Very, very, very impressed with that. That is, wow. Yeah, absolutely wow. So obviously in straight line if you want to do that sharp highlight. Wow. Top there. Give it a bit of a tickle around that side. Yeah. I've used 2 paints and I'm sold. Yeah, that's just does exactly what it says it should on the tin. Yeah, okay, I'm pretty blown away by that. I mean, and we still have paint left. Still have paint left. So obviously I'll put photos of progress on Instagram. So we do have an Instagram now. We're getting very future forward, aren't we? Yeah. So that is incredible. The shine on that. Well, there you go. That's that stage done. So that's plate armour done. Thank you very much, Duncan. Yeah, wash that out. Now I do have two waters on the side. So you see what I'm doing? I've got 2 waters. You don't want a mucky water in the frame. So I use 2 waters because obviously this one is going to have metallic flakes in it. Now, if you look at these paints, they're actually quite. So if I added quite a bit of water to it, you get to the stage where it's sort of like running, you can see the metallic particles in it, and that's how metallic paints work. They have literally pieces of metal in them. So that's why if you overwater out and a metallic paint, it shits itself basically. It goes to nothing. Now, your water jar, by the time that you've done your metallics, is going to have all these bits in it. So if you then went, oh, I'm going to do my green cloak, it would then have all these metallic particles in it. That's just one of those. That's one of those tips, so to speak. Now I'll try. That way. This is so bizarre, like going against myself. Is that better? Trying to there we are. So it's a bit more challenging to get a close up with the webcams, but you get the idea. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do an edge, and I'm going to use mithril blade from 2 thin coats. I'm not going to dry brush this, we can get rid of that now. I've heard people say, oh, I'm going to ditch my entire paint range for these. I can see why. I'm not even going to lie, I can see why. And it's lovely just to say, so like mithril blade, if we look on here, is an ME, so that is a metallic paint. Yeah, fair enough. I'm really interested to see like how the golds shade, so I think we'll start with dragon's gold and then go to glistening gold. And a tip for golds is you would use maybe mithril blade as like a really fine sort of final highlight. Let's have a look. I think that's probably all I'm going to need so far from looking at these. And back to our normal brush. Yeah, don't lick the metallics. This is really heavily metallic, which makes sense because it's like your glistening highlight. So across the top, down the side, down that side, in there, bit on the sort of flex point in the middle, bit down at the bottom, ears. So anything that's at the top, I'm just giving a lick with this, not a lick, but you know what I mean, tickle. Top of its eyes, around the snout. Is it the snout? Yeah. Now across the top here, I'm going to follow that along, down on those raised edges like that. I'm going to go around the other side, do the same thing, and then I'm going to go all down that side. Yeah, that's looking absolutely sick. Just a bit of a tickle there, across. So anywhere where I think, yeah, the light's going to just reflect there. Yeah. This guy here, I'm not even sure that is actually metal now looking at it, but it is now. You know. I actually, as you see the pile of boxes in the background, I've gone a bit Conquest mad. I've actually got 2 more of this guy. So in the future streams we'll be giving away some Conquest miniatures, primarily because I have so many of them and you can't actually use them all. So we'll paint this guy up, and when he's complete we will give away 2 versions of this to viewers. So you know, make sure you subscribe and come back for more, you know, and we'll do that live. We'll figure out how to do that live. It might be that Rob or Joe has to be on some sort of moderator setup. We're still learning. This is very, very new to me, but we'll figure it out, you know, because it's all about community. And if there's stuff that I can't use, then I would rather share it to people that actually might want to, even if it's just to have a go to paint something different. So this one, Paul, Mithril Blade is Stormhost Silver for Citadel and Shining Silver from the Army Painter. And yeah, I think it's far super. Yeah, I mean, like the gleam that you get in here, it's going to be difficult. I mean, it'll have to be the photo. I will post on our Instagram, like a work in progress after every stream. But yeah, I mean, it's impressive for the painters out there that know to be able to make metals actually pop is really, 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 really cool. You know, like to actually see the difference, and for it to just go out the pot with a tiny dab of water and work is cool. Yeah. So we won't overdo that. I'm going to do a slight down the back of his shield just to give an idea of a bit of reflection, and I think I'm very happy with the silver there, and we will try some gold. So what's that? So gold then, we have, let's have a look, Dragon's Gold. I don't think bronze is the right starting place. Oh, so Spartan bronze is the same as Balthazar gold, or as close to it as possible. Interesting. I think we might give that one a miss. I think like bronzes and that tend to be more on sort of evil things. So the 100 Kingdoms for Conquest are like men, basically, like the Empire. So you know, it might be evil depending on your point of view. From a certain point of view, Dragon's Gold is Retributor armor or greedy gold. See you later, Rob. Thanks ever so much, mate. So let's try a bit of Dragon's Gold, and then we will highlight it with some glistening gold, which is Liberator gold. Gold on gold. We've got a gold on gold ad. Yeah. So let's give them a good shake. While I'm doing that, I'm going to have a drink of tea, which I always put next to my paint water, which is daft, isn't it? And I would use one of our bunker mugs, but we've sold them all. So there you go. Okay. Let's have a look then. So we'll start up at the top. Oh, hello. Hello, beastie. Hello. Yes, I'm a grown man having a moment about gold paint. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Now, the catch 50 here is going to be if it covers. It does. Oh wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah, Paul, you want to get yourself some of this, mate, if you're doing custodes, telling you now. That's yeah, there you go. Yeah, that coverage is, it makes your painting so much better. So much better. When you can just paint it straight out of the pot, or with a little bit of water in it, and it just does what you want it to do. I'm blown away by this. And it was interesting because Transatlantic said, look, we'll send you the Wave 1, because obviously we'd appreciate you using them, which we are, because there's loads of reviews from out there, isn't there? And you think, well, maybe it's just people blowing smoke up Duncan Roads or whatever. But that speaks for itself. You know, if you're playing custodes, painting custodes, yeah, let's just pick, like, let's just make them a gold detail on top of the silver. I don't actually know what that is. I just think it's a bit of something. So yeah, so that covers really well. He's got the sigil thing on his helmet. Let's go in and give that a cover. No, we're going to go in and do this. I'm going to leave that. I think it might be interesting to use some of the washes in a bit as well, or maybe next time when it's thoroughly dry. It's just so there's like sort of band in there. So let's try and go on there just to give it, break up the mass, so to speak. Yeah, wow. Yeah, so very, very, very impressed. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've bought all different ranges of paints in the past, and I've bought Citadel and absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, a very good comment. Total Nova, yeah, very, very, very good comment. The number of times that I have dipped the brush, so to speak. That sounds like a euphemism, doesn't it? Tonight on Bunker After Dark. The number of times that I've dipped the brush in my tea is I wouldn't care to count. But yeah, I don't know why we do it as well. We just like to challenge ourselves, don't we, I suppose, as wargamers or hobbyists. Yeah, I'm well impressed with this. Well impressed with it. As soon as it come out of the pot, just like, yeah, that'll do. Yeah, there's that. Yeah, wow. So it's got like a lion's head there as well, so let's just dot that in. We'll just take that panel gold. Yeah, it's been a long time. I've been actually genuinely surprised. I mean, even with like when Contrast came out, I was so excited for the idea of Contrast, and I thought this is, and the reason why is like I enjoy sitting and painting. I've painted for years, and yeah, as I've got older, the glasses have appeared, and so on and so forth. But I thought, hey, this would be really cool for people just to be able to go, yeah, but I can paint, and that's that, and it's great, but they weren't that really. They sort of lacked something for me, and lacked something for a lot of people that I sort of met and spoke to, and I don't know, I'm just a bit impressed with this. Just straight out of the pot. Yeah. Oh, so they let me. Not that we're shilling or anything like that. So these are Duncan Rhodes 2 Thin Coats paints. Now, full disclosure, Transatlantis Games very kindly sent me with one to try. And this is the first time I've been trying them, and I'm blown away by the coverage, and they just seem to work. And it's nice to see, you know, it's like that. You can just go back and give them a second sort of cheeky little coat, and you've got a really sort of vivid colour going on. Very, very, very impressed so far. Very impressed. I'm just going to use a little bit more of this Dragon's Gold. I'm going to water this one down a little bit. Let's see what it does when you have a water to it. Yeah, it maintains really well. That's a brush load of water. Yeah, that's just aided the flow. Yeah, very nice. Let's go in here and just sort of block that in with that. I'm just sort of messing about really. I fancied throwing this paint range in at the deep end, which is metallics, because a lot of paints, they really struggle with metallics. I remember sort of buying particularly army paints and just thinking, is that actually a paint? And that's not to sort of badmouth them. They make some great products, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's some of them are a bit of a miss in certain areas. So I actually really, really like that, and I think I'm going to do my man in golden armour, because I just figure that it'd be really ostentatious. So let's keep blocking in. Yeah, very, very, very impressed with the coverage straight over black. And you know, as the streams progress, I want to do one a week. Now, there won't be one next Thursday, but then after that it'll be every Thursday. And the reason is I'm actually getting married on next Friday. So yeah, I don't think Mrs. Bunker would be very impressed if I was up painting the night before. Better than being out smashed. It's better than being out absolutely smashed, but there you go. Yeah, I think, yeah, I'm not quite figuring it out. It's an interesting idea, sort of like having a conversation that's passed already, so to speak. Yeah, I guess that's just down to the internet connection, is it? I don't know. I live in a little village, and yeah, we sometimes have really, really, really challenging connections and stuff like that. But we're all about enjoying ourselves and hobbying and stuff like that, so we try our best. We're what is it they called us at Chilcon? Enthusiastic amateurs, that's what we are. I'll take that. See, there's nothing like saying, I am here to go to war dressed head to foot in gold. See if you can hit me with your bow, because you ain't going to be able to hide from that, are you? Look, so I'm actually excited now to get the next gold out and see what it works like as a second layer. So he's not just gold, you know, he has got clothes on. Clothes on? You know what I mean? So for those that are new, hello, my name is Tom. This is the bunker, and this is our first ever hobby live stream. So using like OBS and like proper stuff. Yeah, we're not the most tech savvy of people in the world, so this has taken a bit of a momentous amount of effort to get going. But yeah, we hobby and we love what we do, and we play for fun. And hey, you know what? Your hobby's supposed to be fun, isn't it? If it's stressing you out, take a break from it. Simple as that. And I'm just sort of like randomly picking gold bits out here because I'm guessing what's gold and what isn't. That looks like he's got like some sort of like wolf pelt on him. I don't know. He's a noble lord. They can wear what they want. A mounted noble lord, all in gold. So for those that do play Conquest or that are going to be at the LGT, myself and Leo will be at the LGT at the in I think it's like 1st of October, which will be great. We're going to be playing Conquest, so do come and say hi if you see us. We don't bite. Well, I don't know much about, you know, what Leo's habits are, but I'm fairly certain he doesn't bite. So here's his little. I have literally just realised I'm painting him like a custode. It's Henry Cavill in Fantasyland. It must work well. So it's interesting. I'm just adding water to this and just keeping going. I'm just curious to see how much we can get out of this paint. And it's still going, you know, which is nice. Oh. So go back and amend in a minute. That is like a neck defense. I'm sure someone out there that knows about historical armour can probably tell me the actual name that will be, but it's like a ridged neck defense. Let's have a look there. It's not a historically accurate outfit, is it? Let's be honest. Have a little bit more. a little bit more gold. Where are we up to? Dragon gold, there we go. Dot of water. Now the two thin coats, for those out there, because I know there's a couple of you now sort of looking at this range, they don't seem to need as much watering down. From my initial experiences here, it might be worth sort of checking out some of Duncan Road sort of videos and stuff like that from my point of view. And interesting, it was also what Joe said when we went to Picklefest. He was like, oh, they don't seem to need as much watering down, which was nice, you know. There seems to be the correct painting consistency. Now there'll always be some watering down to be done with paints. I've painted for years. Yeah, you always water down. I used to paint with a guy who just like, you know, you water down your paints, end off. So it's interesting to have a different sort of look on consistency for me. And there, look. That's about, I think that is like a fair sort of topper. Yeah, we're getting there, aren't we? Getting there. Yeah, that's like a cloak, isn't it? I don't really know what that is on his on his back. I'm guessing he's going to have gloves on. We need to just touch that back again, don't we? But I think that is the sort of dragon gold done. I'm wondering if there's anything else we can pick out on the steed just to make it pop. Now I think I'm quite happy with that. So there we go. So that's his dragon gold done. Very, very cool. Cool little paint. Dragon gold. Very impressed straight out of the pot. Now I'm up. So a lot of the time people will use a silver to highlight. Now I'm going to use glistening gold from the same range, obviously. Now it's the same as Liberator gold and bright gold. So Liberator gold, Citadel, bright gold is from the Army Painter. So let's have a look. Give it a shake with the agitator. I love painting. It absorbs time and it relaxes. It's my favourite part of the hobby. So let's go again. Okay. Oh, hello. Interesting. Oh, wowza. Okay. So we're literally going to just highlight with this then? Okay, interesting. So again, this is going on really well. It's got almost like a silver edge to it, which is cool. And I wonder if it's designed so that you can use the silver that we've used to just sort of like finish the highlight off. Let's have a look how quick it goes on. Wow. Oh, Joe's back. Hi, Joe. We're having a hobby guy moment about the gold paint, which is absolutely amazing. Yeah, Custodes players, go out and buy it now, basically. Buy it now. Yeah, Rob would love it. Buy it now. So the Joe that has just joined is the Joe from our video. So he's one of the bunker crew. Crew? Are you a bunker crew? What do we call ourselves? I don't know. See, this is how organised we are. I just let everyone else sort it out. I'm just a charismatic front man. I'm really, really, really impressed with this. Just been able to. God, I wonder if you could wet blend metallics with this. Getting ahead of myself. Let's have a look. Well, now again, we'll put pictures on the Instagram. Does that work if I show you that way? It's a bit difficult to show you, but you're getting the idea. I am pretty blown away by these paints. So now, the question is, can you use the silver to just sort of like dot the gold and really make it shine? And we haven't used a wash yet. We ain't used a wash yet. Right, so that's shining gold then. Thanks ever so much. To Think Out, was brilliant paint. Let's have a. So I'm going to go back to my mithril blade. Now, for the people that are new watching us, mithril blade on our handy conversion chart is the same as Stormhorse silver for Citadel or shining silver for the army painter. Don't let Joe pretend that he's dead nice. He's got a Delac gang. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I think it's a long way behind real time, Joe. I think it's probably a Tom lives in a little village, and until we set up a proper bunker HQ, then it is unfortunately what it is. So what I'm doing here then, I am just dotting silver on the gold. Here's a tip for you if you're a Custodes painter, just to make it pop. I'm not going crazy with it. I'm just giving it a reflection point. And it just helps it along just a little bit. So we have lots of plans for upcoming content. We're still doing battle reports. We're never going to stop doing the battle reports. We love them. We want to do a bit more live, so obviously I'm going to do the painting sort of side of it live. We've got plans to take our Traveller role-playing sessions live, because we're really lucky we're actually playing Mongoose's offices. And for those that don't know, they're the people that actually make Traveller, so we were actually really privileged to play there. So we're hoping we can do that live, which would be really, really, really cool. Yeah, so we have a lot of up and coming coolness on the channel. We've got our Necromunda campaign is continuing, which we absolutely love playing in. We've got the Full War on Terror Kickstarter coming when it's ready next year, and we've been looking at Dystopian Wars, which I think looks absolutely sick. For those that don't know, Dystopian Wars is basically the world of dystopia. If the Victorians found like alien power, what would have happened with the world then? And oh, hiya Jack. Jack's back. He was probably back ages ago, and the chat's only just caught up. Yeah, so very, very, very impressed with this. Just going to put a reflection point in. Yeah, why? Yeah, I'm all over these. I'm all over these paints. Joe, you need to come round for a painting day. Maybe Joe can use the streaming setup. You can't use the pinny though. The pinny's like man. So washes. I've got Oblivion Black wash. Shall I use the thing? Because let me just. There we go. I'm quite happy with that. Just wash the brush. Okay. So, washes wise, you get. Let me have a look. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, so there are 6 washes with wave 1. Oblivion Black wash, which is the same as Nuln Oil or Dark Tone. Ooh, I love me a bit of Dark Tone. Battle Mud wash, which is the same as your Agrax Earthshake or Strong Tone. Flesh wash, which is Reichland Flesh Shade or Flesh Tone from the Army Painter. Orc Flesh wash, which is Biletan Green from Citadel or Green Tone from the Army Painter. Necrosis Green, which is a Thornian Camo Shade or Military Shade from the Army Painter. And Archaic Sepia, which is the same as Seraphim Sepia or Soft Tone from the Army Painter. So you've got that initial sort of wave of them, I guess, haven't you? Yeah, it'd be interesting. Interesting. I mean, what would you use on your gold normally? Sepia? Probably Sepia wash? Or an Agrax Earthshade. I'd probably use an Earthshade, to be fair. We'll come back with some wash in some of the recesses and stuff like that shortly, but yeah, wow, that's colour me impressed. Now, I think we might try some non-metallics now in my different water pot. So let's try and do the horse's livery. Is it called livery? Barding? Whatever you want to call it. Barding, I think it's called, isn't it? Now, this is where we have to decide on what colour the army's going to be. Now, red and black is the bunker colours, so I think red and black is probably the colours we'll go for. So, yeah, flesh. It's interesting with gold, isn't it, Paul? Because it. I mean, you've got a flesh wash for Reichland Flesh Shade, which is quite a nice. So where is it? Flesh wash. Yeah. You know what? Let's have a go. We're all testing, aren't we? Oh, hello. Interesting, putting it over like the sort of more detailed areas has sort of darkened it down, burnished it a bit, which is quite nice actually. So I guess it's hard to show, isn't it, at this sort of setup, but yeah, well, let's use one of the washes. Okay, so that covers really nicely. Let's so the shield sort of like got a bit of ribbing to it. For the enemy's displeasure. Yeah, that's lovely. Really nice. Just put it in all the shades. Look. I know that's the idea of a shade. Put it in the shaded areas. Oh, he's a genius. Okay. Comes out of the pot really nicely. It's well mixed. Yeah, I'm all over this, to be fair. And you can apply and brush away with a finger if you want to. Yeah, which is quite handy for a lot of sort of more detailed work where you might just think, I'm not actually going to be able to directly get this where I want it to go, so I'm just going to, like that for example, you could just go, okay, I'm just going to go the area and then I'm just using my finger to brush it away, and it actually gives it more of a, I don't know, sort of mottled sort of look to it. That's nice. Yeah, so the flesh wash complements the gold really nicely. Yeah, again, difficult to see, but it is really nice. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Okay. Got a bit left, don't like to waste it. Let's bang it down there. That's a shadow, isn't it? There we are. So yeah, the washes are cool as well. There you go. So far, that's what we've seen. So let's do some red now. So there's actually reds and pinks here. So let's start with it. I think Berserker red is Word Bearer's red, which is quite dark, isn't it? So that's a shadow. But let's follow it then. So Berserker red, that's your shadow. Mephiston red is your mid-tone. So it's Sanguine Scarlet. Oh, I see what they've done there. And then we've got Demon red, which is Evil Sun's. That's your highlight. So in theory, we should make a really nice red here. Okay. We need one of them vortex mixer things, don't we? That's another thing I could break, to be fair. Oh, I've got a little button. What's this that's come up? No? Oh. Oh, right, okay. Oh. No, what's going on? Never mind. Okay. Note to Tom, don't press buttons while you're doing this. So, let's have some red first. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, so this is effectively this is the Mephiston then. It's very nice, isn't it? Let's have a look. It's a nice consistency straight out of the pot, to be fair. I'm going to add a tiny bit of water to it, just to see what the flow's like. So obviously I've got gold and such like on there, and it's covered it straight away. Wow, yeah, fair play. I'm so impressed. So earlier on I mentioned that we were going to be at ChillCon again, which is an awesome event. If you can go, get a ticket to ChillCon. It's a brilliant, laid back but incredible day of gaming. There's retailers there, there's hobby there, you meet some YouTubers, you can even come and meet me if you want. And it's just a really cool day. And it's nice to get to play some games. So we're going to put a game on again, and the idea is that we're going to use or play Conquest Last Argument. So these miniatures that you see here, you can actually see them played with at ChillCon next year. So that's the idea anyway. We never know what happens, but yeah, lovely coverage. That's lovely coverage, it really is. A gorget, a gorget, Joe? A gorget. Is that the... okay. Have you just googled that? Nothing wrong if you have just googled it, that's perfectly fine. I wouldn't ever know. I know that there'd be some historical players out there that'll I'd be really upset with me for not knowing that. But I've never really been a historical player. I played Bolt Action. That was a good game. I like to paint things. Oh, you totally knew it. Fair enough. I like to paint things, and I don't know. Just like to let my imagination run wild. I didn't really have a plan for this miniature, for example. And some people probably will go, "Oh, you didn't have a plan." No, I tend to just paint, and I have an idea. For example, if I'm painting Death Guard, I know they need to look like grubby gits. You've got to have sort of like a rough idea. I mean, but it's your hobby. You could paint them pink if you wanted to. Do you know what I mean? Oh really? So what? They added neck armour to Marinas, and people went mad, did they? It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me, but there you go. So, hello to anyone new that's watching. Welcome to the bunker. My name's Tom. I do encourage you to subscribe to us. It doesn't cost you a penny or a cent. And it does help the channel. Today we're using Two Thin Coats by Transatlantis Games, so Duncan Rhodes paints, and we're doing our first ever live stream. So yeah, sit back, pull out your hobbying gear. Yeah, there should be about another hour worth of painting. Some of the guys are in the chat. You want to say hello, ask questions, tell us what you're hobbying about and what you're doing. Or if you just want to talk about medieval armour, that's perfectly cool as well. I'm just blocking in some red. There we go. A little bit more water. So I'm going to... We have an Instagram where I sort of run the Instagram. It's about as techie as I get. And I will put up the work in progress for each stream every week as we do it. And we are going to try and do this weekly. Now, next week there won't be a stream, but from then on every Thursday I'll be here painting. I find it very relaxing, and it's, I hope you enjoy it as well. I won't be doing it next week because I am getting married, so I think it's probably not worth my life. And if you want to see another live stream at a later date, I probably need to focus on that. Yeah, you know what, Jack? Hopefully the trains are playing ball. I mean, you're in York, aren't you? So it's not it's not a million miles away. We can always work something out if you need picking up or something like that, or even if, you know, like you and Dave need picking up, I'm sure that we can work something out. Hopefully the trains play for you and you can come. If not, we'll get you. So you know we'll exchange picking you up for a massive shout out. But yeah, in all seriousness, if the trains do what they've done over the last few months, yeah, we'll have to arrange something. But it's March next year, isn't it? So there's plenty of time. I can see the bunker going down in a couple of vehicles, to be honest with you, because, you know, like you say, oh yeah, we'll go to Chilcon last year and we'll just take a few mugs and see, and then you sell absolutely everything you've got merch-wise. You have loads of people playing your game, and then suddenly we think, yeah, actually this is blowing a little bit big. So yeah, we might hire a van. I've always wanted to drive a van like that, so maybe, who knows? A bit excessive. Plus we get to come and see War Daddy HQ, which would be really cool. I know that, like, Joe loves that type of thing. Stop off on the way. What do you think, Joe? Do you think you'd enjoy going through mounds and mounds and mounds and mounds and mounds of miniatures? I think anyone would, wouldn't they, really? Yeah, Joe's already hyped. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. It's alright, Jack, if we get Joe down your place, you'll sell a load of stuff. Not if Joe's wife is watching. Nothing that any of us buy now is self-funded. It's all funded from the proceeds of the channel. Honestly. Right, I think we've covered that one off, lads. It's not really. I wish it was, but not yet anyway. Yeah. We do alright. But we put it all back into our hobby, because that's the whole idea, isn't it, of having like hobby YouTube, is that we put it into terrain and battle mats and cameras and just cool stuff, you know. If we fancy starting a game like Dystopian Wars, for example, which I've just gone on and on and on about for the last month, you know, a little chat. It's like, Dystopian Wars, best game ever made. Give him a note for his wife. Give him a note for his wife saying it was free. Yeah, legend. You know, now, back in the day, and this might not be the case now, there was a wargaming store that allegedly gave people a note or an option at checkout that you could tick, and it would come through and it'd say, like, from Tom's, I don't know, say for example the bunker is a shop, so you could say, I'll have 2 10th ed starter sets from you, Tom. I tick the button, and then we put a little thing in that says, congratulations on winning this prize. So instead of an invoice, which I always thought was quite an interesting way of looking at it. Yeah, the struggle is real, isn't it? Let's be honest. So I don't know. My missus is she is actually really supportive of it. You know, God, we take over the living room numerous times. Been on to Joe's house numerous times, done exactly the same thing. But yeah, the struggle is real sometimes, and this is a conversation for another day, really. But yeah, it's how much have you spent on that? Oh, I don't know what you mean. I won it. There we go. So let's try. Let's try the next paint, shall we? So, well, that's drying up. I don't know what to do on his cloak. Maybe I should do that red as well, because then it would also let the other one dry, wouldn't it? Let's do his cloak the same red. Like red and black, is that like... Oh yeah, I don't know. It's the bunker army. Literally, it's one crappy. It's one Rob's going to use. No, I get that, Jack. I can see that. I don't think if I had a shop, my mum has got no idea. She looks at this because you do what on the internet? Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah. Oh right, you and your mates are going where? For what? And there's a guy with a frog. You know, it's like that sort of thing. There's just there's no understanding. I mean, she'd rather this than, you know, be out drinking all the time, I suppose, and stuff like that, or like going on a lad's holiday to Amsterdam. But yeah. So I'm just going to quickly just colour this in as well. I'm just so impressed with these paints. So impressed with them. I think these are really, you could go as far or as, you know, little as you want with them, I guess. They've obviously been designed by a painter. That you can tell straight away. Just like, there you go, blonde. I know they're two thin coats, but you can put a moderate coat on and do it in one, you know what I mean? Yeah, so here we go. There we go, we're getting there, we're getting there. We're getting there. Hello to new viewers and watchers, and hello. I'm not used to this. I've never spoken so much painting in my life, to be fair. But at least I'm not talking to myself because it's on the internet. I'm just going past giving it another coat because it's really rich, this red. It's really lovely. I sent the oh, is it a bit of hobby burnout, Donald, or are you just not feeling it at the minute? Or is it one project at a time? Old Dominion are cool, man. They look really cool. You know, I think burnout's a real thing, isn't it? You know, so it's like, I know that probably some of you are there thinking this guy pumps out an army every week. You can't really comment on hobby burnout, but you do get it. You know what I mean? You do get it. It's, I don't know. I've just always, painting has always been my escape. I like to paint armies. I like to put a force down and just go, oh, I'm really chuffed with that, and that's proper Yorkshire, that, isn't it? I'm really chuffed with that, and I just like the look of it, and that, you know, that's like that's my work of art. It was like, we met Let's Make It Orky recently, and Keris, and she's absolutely lovely, and she said, you know, treat it like, even if you think I don't know, it's still a piece of art that you've created, and be proud of it, you know, and that's quite a nice way to look at it, I think. We are certainly getting a really nice red on there. Really very nice. I suppose you could obviously leave the red to dry and then come in with another colour or whatever. I think we're going to try black, so we'll do red and black, just because it's, I don't know, I guess it's something a bit different, isn't it? Try the different colours and all that. And excuse me while I drink my cold tea. We actually have a break page, you know, just so you know. Now, I'll do this for a couple of seconds. I like the break image is quite funny, but we're not having a break, we're just having a couple of seconds. So let's try what happens. I don't know. I've got a monitor with the stream on over here, so I'm just trying to see how long it takes to get. Yeah, there you go. You're famous, Joe. Right. So while that's drying up lovely. It's drying up lovely. I think what we might do, see, to me, while that's drying, Painting Terrain is a very good palette cleanser. It is. You're very, very right. I am just having. So we've got Doom Death Black. That sounds really. That sounds really quite devastating, doesn't it? That's Death Reaper. Now that's Corvus Black. Okay, so let's try a bit of Death Reaper first. While the red's drying, I'm just going to put some Death Reaper on the areas I want black on his robes, I think. That's how I paint. Do one bit at a time, go to another bit, do so on and so forth. So I'm hoping it's just, yeah, there we go. Tiniest bit of water as well. Yeah, lovely, lovely colour. Straight away I can tell. So I'm just blocking in these black areas, and it might not look like it's doing a lot. It might not be doing a lot, but for me it just means that they are all that one shade that we're going to work with in a bit. Now the top there, I think we're going to do all that brown, so really it is only that. Now I'm sure somebody will correct me, it's like his underskirt thing that's going to be this colour. So let's just, I think next time already we will paint his horse, because I think that's painting animals is an interesting thing to do. Now that looks actually like it is metallics on the side there. Very interesting. I'm not expecting that. And we're also going to do the shaft of his spear, or his lance, and this just to neaten it up. Brilliant coverage again, even with watering down. Yeah, wow. I bet you can really pump out some armies with this stuff. I bet you can. Lovely. Yeah, you. Yeah, you can pick the picture next time. We need to work. We need some like those. I'm having a break and welcome back and all this sort of thing. Yeah, we'll have to work on those type of things. Okay. Well, I thought you see that picture would be fitting, Joe, because that's when you were actually trying to thin coat out, wasn't it? He says, trying to get away with it. Okay, there we go. How translucent are they compared to layer paints? So, somebody name a layer paint. Hang on, layer paints. So Word Bearer's red. Okay, So where Bear is red is exactly the same as the red that I've just put on there, and that's a layer paint. And that's coverage, well, it's pretty much straight out of the pot. I've still got some here, which I can add some water to. And I bet I could happily paint with that. See what I mean? So I think they're pretty much exactly the same, if I'm honest with you. If you like, sort of like just gonna go in there again, just on that area. Yeah, they're exactly the same. Yeah. Good question though, because it's like they do make a big difference. Translucency of paints is massive, isn't it? It's one of the main things that impacts our hobby and the things that we can do. I'm a fiend for mixing paints together. I've not done it yet, and it does feel a little bit foreign to me, not mixing paints together, but I'm also quite happy that I'm not having to, if that makes sense. So, well, that's doing. I spotted that gold, didn't I? So I'm going to go back in with some dragon. In fact, I wonder, and this is a test for this paint. No, I was just going to see if I could reinvigorate that, which was on the palette, but I can't. See, my palette's a piece of glass, not a wet palette. I've never used a wet palette really. I'll tell a lie. I had one like a while ago. Just sort of never. It was during lockdown and I ran out of sponge. So what I need to know is like where you get all your activator and that from, Jack. Like those boxes of activator that you get. I think you actually painted with Kerish, didn't you, Joe, at Pickle Fest? We've got a video coming for Pickle Fest soon, but I just wanted Josh to be able to put his video up first. But I might just bang ours up, not. And Necromunda's the next video that's coming out. Next bat rep. There we go. Bat rep ahoy. It's coming in here. There we go. Interesting. I think we definitely need to maybe have the next joint day. Joe can do a takeover of the stream and sit and paint. So it's getting there. It's starting to dry. So while that is drying, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to try the Oblivion Black wash, just to see what it's capable of. As I say, we're all learning together here, aren't we? Now, if this is like dark tone, I will order this in the dozens. And let's have a look. Okay, so it's not as strong as dark tone, which is fine, because I always find that dark tone is I don't know, it's like a wow. Yeah, that's lovely. That's really nice. Flows really well. It's Null oil. It's Null oil, which is fine. Do you know what I mean? That is totally fine that it's Null oil. It actually flows more like an oil wash, which is interesting. Flows more like an oil wash. Yeah, very, very interesting. It's Fulgrim Pink. You'll have to help me with that, Donald. I don't know what that is. I am very impressed with Duncan Rhodes. Yeah, that is crazy. Flows like an oil. That's crackers. And And I mean, you could sort of bath it on, I guess, but I'm trying to be a bit more delicate with my painting, taking my time and stuff like that, you know. He says I painted a full spire army this week. And that was the bath it on method. But the 100 Kingdoms, I just like the idea of giving them a bit of love, I guess. Just going to go in there in each one of those and just sort of do the rivet and then up like that and then off. Yeah, I'm well impressed. Joe, you got to come and try these paints, man. You've got to try these paints, like properly try this range here. That is crazy. Good paint. That's a crazy paint. That is crazy. Let's try their Agrax battle mode. Now, just a drop is all we need. I love the little dropper pots as well. I think they're really cool. Like controlled paint is so impressive. So there you go. Now I don't know where I'm gonna put it, to be fair. I know where I'm gonna put it around his spear like that. Just to test it. Now I'm going to test it a little bit on a gold as well. Oh hello. Oh hello. Flows like an oil wash. Very impressed. Yeah, that's badass. That is totally cool. So like those areas of gold, let's bother them in it. Fully appreciate you can't see that. Oh right, I see what it means. Like so it's called what? Yeah, it's supposed to be Null Oil. Null Oil, the current Null Oil. I assume the current Null Oil. I'm just sorry, I've got a chat of Fulgrim Pink. Have we got one of them on here? I've got Glistening Gums. Is that a pink? Oh no, that's Pink Horror. Yeah, Fulgrim's not on here. That must be like way pink. Oh, don't worry about it, Donald. Don't ever have to apologise about that. Do not worry about it. Okay, so well impressed with that. In fact, I'm going to use a little bit cheeky bit more of that as well. That battle mud. I'm going back for more. Let's have a look. So. Battle mode, and I'm going in here with it. That flow is crazy on an out of the pot paint. Wow. Well, hello. My God. So impressed. I'm going to shade the back of his shield as well. Just to See, we just having every. He'll be covered in just about every paint there is. Yeah, very, very impressed. I'm just going to highlight that at the darken that at the top as well. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, very nice. Let's get that dot. Yeah, lovely. Cool. Yeah, very impressed. So I think we're in the position almost. So we've done the first red. Pop. We're now going to use some Sanguine Scarlet. Now, Sanguine Scarlet is Mephiston red. Need a vortex mixer. And now apparently this can just be used to highlight straight out of the pot. Okay, that's looking like a good start. Consistency. Oh, that consistency is lovely, isn't it? I'm gonna add a dot just because I think it's probably more for habit more than anything. Well, hello. Yeah, well, that does exactly what it says on the tin, and it covers well, and it just, yeah, it's a one stroke mid-tone. Wow. Yeah, I think regardless of your level of highlighting there, I think that's going to help. Definitely. And we've all got different levels, haven't we? Let's be honest, it doesn't matter. It's our hobby. You enjoy it and you look at it and you're proud of it, and be proud of it. No one has a right to tell you if you're good or bad. It's your hobby, you enjoy it. Very impressed. Wow. Okay. Super cool. I'm just going to go in there, look. There. Yeah. See, the beautiful thing about Conquest models is they're 40mm. Which, yeah, some people might be like, oh god, that's a bit big, isn't it? 40mm. Yeah, the big miniatures, that's kind of why I like them. It does a lot of work for you because of the size of the miniature. The highlights are obvious where they go. Washes work really well on them. I'm a bit of a Conquest fanboy, I'm not going to lie. And the game's ace. That's always a good point, isn't it? Oh dear. There we go. So we're getting there. We are getting there. yeah, does exactly what it says on the tin. Yeah. All right, so wave 2 has those pinks. Ah, your Google foo is strong, Padawan. I think wave 2 is definitely going to be something that, I'll be frank with you, I think I'm already just going to buy it. I am normally quite an easy sell, but just to be painting like this and knocking out highlights out of a pot is absolutely crackers. That's just like next level crackers for me. That's just, I mean, like his cloak here. So this is your mid-tones, really. All we're doing is leaving the shadows in. I mean, I dare say you could even get away without highlighting further on that if you wanted to. I mean, we will go, because I want to try the full 3-stage thing. Yeah, Joe, you've got to come around and try these paints, man. You've got to come around and try these paints. Hello, new viewers, if there are new viewers out there, I don't know. I'm trying to... Rob said to me, oh, just make sure that you still say, hello, new viewers, please subscribe. So please subscribe. If you're watching and you like what we do, we're a pretty laid-back community, which is exactly what we want. And we do have a Discord as well. Links can be found on our socials. But for now, let's continue to paint. That is just going on lovely. Yeah, you can't say much better than, you can't say much fairer than that. Straight out of the pot, lovely. Well, that's a resounding win. Sanguine red. Pop it back on the shelf. Oh, the the Tontor. If I played the Wadroon, I would get the Tontor because that is the craziest, biggest model I have ever seen. It's like, it's massive. Don't play the army, Donald. I'm tempted just to get a Tontor. But I love my Spires, and I'm going to enjoy using the 100 Kingdoms, and because I just think they are really cool, and they're the humans, aren't they? And I'm enjoying. So obviously Leo plays. He's got his Dweghom. I think Leo's going to university again now soon. Which is fine. You know, great, and we'll still see him, and we'll still sort of like involve him and stuff like that. But when you sort of get to the stage of Rob doesn't have an army for this, and the way we do it is that I'll paint 2 and he'll use 1, and Joe can use 1, and so on and so forth. Because I love Conquest, so I'll buy more of this. I've got chapter mages for the 100 Kingdoms, and that, for example, is the Knight Standard Bearer. Yeah, 100% badass. Look at that. That is no messing about. No messing about at all. The men, they come on 4s like that. Joe, Joe's going to be really hurt over Rune Wars now. They come in fours like that, and they're like your infantry dudes. So we've got plenty to paint. This is seriously plenty to paint. I've got 2 more of the starter sets, so I've got 2 starter sets to do, which is literally all 100 Kings and Spires. The Spires is just for my Spire addiction, but the 100 Kingdoms is so that we have another army to play. So, ooh, okay. Now then, do we need to go down a brush size? Possibly. So. Just on the tops or in the middles of what we've already done, and I know it can look bright when it starts, but they actually calm down paints when they're dry, so we hope they do. Sold. Good night, Donald. Hope you're well, mate. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Yeah, this is a very interesting paints range. I mean, consistency wise, it's got to be a 10 out of 10 straight away. It's got to be a 10 out of 10. There's no ifs or buts there at all. It's got to be. Sort of just having a play. It'll be really interesting to see if any of the like the Golden Demon painters, if others, like Jose da Vinci and stuff like that, if they start to use this, because I can see it's got crazy potential. But for enthusiastic amateurs, it is also really, really cool. And you know what? I'm so grateful to Transatlantic Games for sending these. Yeah, I can see me just letting my Citadel range run out and just using these now. Because why would you use anything else? Do you know what I mean? Crazy, crazy, crazy paints. interested to see what like a watered down wash would do just to tile this together as well. I don't know if it'll need it. It might do. However, that's drying really nicely. I don't mind a few sort of brush strokes in cloths and that, because it makes it look real. Do you know what I mean? Well, wow. That's all I'll say to that. Thanks a lot, Joe. Take care of yourself, mate. Have a good evening. And yeah, we'll definitely have to get you around trying these out now. Very happy with that. So that's an absolute win for the 3 stages as far as I'm concerned. Absolute win. So we are getting to the 2 hour mark, just gone past the 2 hour mark. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use one of the washes, just put in the recesses of the cloak, and then we are calling it there for the night. So I'm going to use battle mud. So I'm really curious to see what we can get out of this. And then I'll take some pictures for the Insta, pop them up, and you can all have a look on there. And obviously follow us. Apparently it makes a difference. I don't really know. I don't know. I'm not really that sort of guy, savvy with that sort of stuff. Literally, it's just straight in those crap. Wow. Oh my word, it's straight where it needs to go. Yeah. Yep, a bit more. Bit more. Very cool. Oh no, it's knocked them over. I have managed that all night without having to do that. So the real challenge for me is going to be not finishing this without a stream. Yeah, so we're pretty much coming to the end now. So thank you everyone for the support on this first stream. It's been amazing and I've really enjoyed it, and I hope you've really enjoyed it, and I hope you've got something out of it, and it's not just come across like it's sort of shill in a painting range, because it really isn't. It's going to be hobbying and painting and sharing what we have coming up and doing and stuff like that, and I think that this setup, it seems to work, and you know, it works, and it's something that we can expand upon. I think we can play games like this quite well. I am still going, Rob, but I'm literally just about to finish. So it's the monstrous streamathon. Basically, I've used the reds, and together as a group we have gone through the reds and discussed the 3-stage method, how it works, and I'm just adding a bit of shade with some ink or their wash, which seems to do an awful lot of work for you, which is always nice, isn't it? And yeah, I am very impressed, very impressed with 2 thin coats, and I am looking forward to the next stream, where we'll continue on with this chap and get him to completion. And as soon as he is completed, the stream after that, we will give away some mounted noble lords for Conquest Last Argument of Kings, which will be all built up and ready to paint. So they'll be built and sprayed black or built and maybe you're not sprayed, because depending on what you want to do. And yeah, thanks ever so much, Jack. Really appreciate your support, mate. And yeah, I think I'm sold on these. I'm definitely sold. There we go. So there is where we will leave it tonight. I think 2 hours is that nice hobby time, and it gives me time to get some photos up on Instagram and so on and so forth. I think for enjoyment wise, painting with two thin coats, it does what it says on the tin, and I'd rather use these in a contrast paint. This is going to replace my Citadel range, I think. I've never had a massive Citadel range. It is now going to be two thin coats, and I think everyone that's watched throughout, the metallics, the gold, the washes, the red stages, it's done exactly what it said it should do at every stage, and I think they're brilliant. I think they're brilliant, I really do. But anyway, thank you ever so much for everyone's watch. I will put him there, and we will take some photos of him and pop them up on our Instagram. I do really hope you've enjoyed the stream. Tell us feedback. Please press that like button. Please share the stream, because it'll upload or something like that. I don't know. Do like, do subscribe, tell your friends, spread the word. The more you can, it really makes a big difference to us. I'm more than happy every week to do painting like this. Not next week, so I'm getting married. So you might not see me ever again. No, you will. You will. I'm getting married next week, but week after I'll be back, and we'll be doing Thursday night streaming. And myself and Rob were talking the other night. We think we're going to do a live stream of a gaming session every other week, and then a battle report every other week. So we'll alternate like a battle report and a live stream, because it's easier for us, and it also gives us the interaction with you guys, which is what we really want. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's watched and commented and chatted. It's been really cool, and I really appreciate it. But for now, that is Tom signing off. Stay safe, stay well.